Today I'm going to 3 locations in central Iowa that have to do with Bonnie and Clyde and their gang. So come along with me. Okay, this is the site of the old Dexfield amusement park. It was here in the 1920s and closed down, I think, in the early 30s. And this is where Bonnie and Clyde camped out and were ambushed by a group of people from the town of Dexter. And they're in this area right here. There used to be a huge amusement park that was completely covered with people on the weekends. They had a big in-ground swimming pool, had all sorts of dances here, live music. It was a happening place at the time. But it's just out in the middle of, well, there's cornfields and bean fields all around here, and it doesn't appear that way through the camera right now. You can kind of see the crop dusters dusting the crops here. But there's a river called the Raccoon River that runs right along here. And Clyde and Bonnie and a guy named, I think his name was J.W. Jones, actually escaped over in this area just straight ahead here. They escaped across the river and actually made their way eventually, I think, to a town called Polk City, and then evaded capture for almost another year, I think. Now, I'm by no means a scholar on all the Bonnie and Clyde stuff, so if I get any information wrong, just forgive me. But they actually have a plaque right here that is kind of dedicated to, one that's dedicated to the park, and I'll include some pictures of the park too. And then there's the capture and everything of Buck and Blanche were actually captured here, and Buck was wounded, and about 5 days later ended up dying from his wounds. So I'm going to take the Mavic up in the air and actually do some filming. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't with this helicopter. I think I'll wait a little bit for him to get done. Now here's a little closer look from the roadside of where they were camped, and just right here by the river. But all this used to be a big booming play area, and it was closed down in the early 30s, and they ended up using it as a kind of a hideout. Now this is the river that Clyde and Bonnie and I think his name's J.W. Jones crossed. just right about the center of the screen there, and got away over to the Feller Farm, which the Feller Farm was just right on the other side of these trees, and they ended up getting a car. They stole a car from the farmer. Didn't harm the farmer, but were able to get away. This is Willis Street or Willis Avenue. I can't remember if it's a street or avenue, but this is the location of the old King's Daughter Hospital. And the reason that's significant is the King's Daughter Hospital was where Buck, Clyde's brother from Bonnie and Clyde, was brought after the shootout in Dexfield Park. And this is actually where he died. These are where the front steps were, and the hospital set right back where the back part of this building is. And they actually have a plaque up here commemorating it. The original building was tore down in 1978. But this is where he died on July 29th, 1933. It kind of sits just in a little residential area. Looking at old pictures, it looks like at one time this was fairly remote. This is in the town of Perry, which is a town about I think the population is about 8,000. So this is downtown Dexter, Iowa, and this is the place that Clyde and J.W. Jones went to buy bandages to bandage up Clyde's brother, Buck, because he had been shot in the head down in Missouri, and so he wasn't in very good shape. And so they came to a pharmacy downtown here somewhere, and I'm just making some assumptions, but this is an old drugstore that was probably here during that time. I don't know that, but anyway, it's closed up now, but this could have been the actual place that they went in and bought bandages, and that's what alerted the pharmacist to them having somebody injured, and so he ended up calling the sheriff, and that's how they ended up with a posse out there to hunt them down in the water park, in the Dexfield water park. This looks like an old bank that's in Dexter. It's just right across the street from the pharmacy, and I'm assuming that's what it is. The inside of it looks like a bank. I'm surprised they didn't try to rob this place when they were here. Now I'm here on a Sunday, so this place is closed. But there's a Dexter museum here that's just in this little downtown area. And I think I read online where they actually have some artifacts from the Bonnie and Clyde ambush that was at the water park. Now I'm in Stuart, Iowa right now. And this is the site of a place where Bonnie and Clyde robbed a bank, I think about a year after the ambush took place over at the water park. So they actually came back to the same area where they got ambushed. And but this is Stuart, Iowa. Well, this is the bank right here. And in 1934, April 16th, Bonnie and Clyde robbed this bank. It's a hair salon now, but you can see there's a plaque on the wall here. And interesting thing just happened. I ran into the mayor of the town here. This is a town of about 1,700 people, and there's a bank just across the way here. There's a actual functioning bank, and 2 years ago it was robbed, and the people made it all the way to California and were caught in California because they followed their cell phone pings, and they asked them why they robbed a bank in Stuart, Iowa, and they said they wanted to be like Bonnie and Clyde. And the mayor told me that's a actual story. He probably would know. So anyway, that's kind of interesting. But this is the famous bank they robbed in Stuart, Iowa. Thank you so much for watching.